why do I have to go to you to ask forgiveness for my sins when I got direct line to God? So from when I was in my 20s versus my 40s, we're gonna go through stuff. So we have to understand that. Don't take it personal. And when you stop taking it personal, you react differently. I told you I run. I'm a track runner, right?
Yeah,
so in
on the track
right,
field.
but then I took it emotionally. I took it into relationships.
Yes. Talk to me, man.
I'm just blown away. I'm just happy that she came.
Welcome to Knucklehead Podcast, where you have myself, Malcolm McLeod, my co-host,
Juan.
and our special guest.
Mia Lands, aka Mia Motivation.
Hey, I love it. Listen, this is Knucklehead Podcast, where we speak to the 99%ers, those individuals that are looking to make a difference in their lives, but see the 1%ers and not understanding how they got to that position. Well, guess what? This is why we bring individuals in that industry or different industries to show you the steps to getting to another level. The choice is yours, but right here, we're bringing you the fruits of our labor.
Yes.
Mia, talk to us. First of all, introduce yourself. Tell us about you a little bit. Let's get to know you.
All right. So Mia Lands. A lot of people know me as Mama Mia.
Mama Mia.
I was on the Nut House on Wild 94.1 back in the day. So I was on the radio. This I used to do with two other guys. We were the Nut House.
There we go. There we
There's
go.
Boy Loco and Buckwheat, and I was Mama Mia. So like this feels like home to me.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2006.
Wow.
So we're talking a long time. Like talk about Throwback Thursday. It was a throwback, yeah. So this is like full circle. You know, you go through life for a reason and you know your calling. And I knew that my calling was in media. And I did radio for a year. Just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I love the media aspect. I love interviewing artists. I love connecting. I just didn't like being stuck in a room all day.
Right.
I wanted to be out and about. I would rather do interviews on the fly or out in the outside or on stages. I just didn't want to be stuck in a room all day, every day. Yeah, I got bored. I have to be stimulated. You got to keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why my calves look like mangoes because I like being on my toes. I like, being stimulated in different ways. And so I love the media aspect, but I just didn't like being stuck in a room. But, doing an hour here and there,
Yeah.
love it.
I see.
So born and raised in Tampa.
Okay.
So I am a true Tampa native, and I grew up with two big brothers. One was from my mom, one was from my dad. So I grew up in a baseball environment. So I actually played baseball with the boys. I didn't like the girls because the girls were mean and catty and competitive, and I was a lover, not a fighter. So I was like, ew, I don't like this. So I played baseball. They didn't like me either because like, ew, you're a girl. You shouldn't be playing baseball. But I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And so when I started playing baseball and I ran around the baseball field, I realized I had speed. And I beat all the boys, so that built my confidence and self-esteem when the boys were like, ew, you're a girl. I was like, ew, you're slow.
Right.
I'm fast. I can beat you. And so I gained, some respect from the guys based on my running. And then, too, I could play. So after 2 years of playing baseball, they told me I had to play with the girls and go to softball. And I said, bump that. I don't want to play with the girls. I like playing with the boys.
Yeah.
So I went to basketball.
Yeah?
And I made the boys' basketball team.
You made the boys' basketball
4
team?
boys got cut.
Oh man.
And I made it. And my parents were like, don't you feel bad? 2 of them are crying. I'm like, no, their defense was sorry. Like,
Right.
no, like they didn't have it in them. And they let a girl beat them. So, yeah, they deserve to be in that position. They got to level up or toughen up. So then I did basketball. Again, after 2 years, they're like, sorry, you got to play with the girls. I'm like, ugh, I'm so tired of people telling me I got to go play with the girls.
Right.
So then I started running track. Running track, I didn't have to play with the girls or the boys. I could do it independently, and I could be, as co-ed. I loved, being around co-ed. I didn't want to be just with one sex or one gender. I just wanted to be with both. So ran track, played volleyball, and just stuck with the track. So been in sports my whole life, got my personal training certification and aerobics instructor certification at 17 going on 18.
Oh, wow.
So I just loved fitness. I knew that because I didn't get a track scholarship, I was a little late in the game when I actually started training for that. I literally lost the scholarship by a 0.5 speed. It was ridiculous. But I was like, okay, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. So I felt aerobics and personal training kept me in that camaraderie, team feel of like hyping people up because I was track captain. You know, I was student body president of my high school. So I loved leadership roles. I like thrived in leadership roles. I just loved helping people, and I also loved leading people. It was just something in me. So now at 44 years fierce, because I'm not old, I'm fierce.
Hey.
I feel the longer you live, the fiercer you become if your mind is right.
Mm.
And you surround yourself with a fierce crowd. It's all about your squad game. So I am now the assistant director of Florida for Blexit America. And so again, another, leadership role. And it's not something that I seek out. It's opportunities that come at the right time.
Yep.
And there's a lot of opportunities that come at the bad time, and I'm not ready. So
Prepare for it.
correct. And you have to go through some experience and go further in your journey to be prepared for that opportunity. So now at 44, being a mom of 2 boys, I have a 16-year-old and a soon-to-be 12-year-old. I've gained a lot of experience, a lot of Hard Knocks University.
Right.
Right.
And speaking of university, I graduated from Southeastern University.
Congrats.
Thank you. I took the 10-year plan.
Okay.
I told you I got bored, right? I get bored. So 4 years of like straight college was not for me.
No.
I went a year. I'm like, okay, I'm bored. Let me go personal train for a year.
Yeah.
So I did the interval program. They didn't have that option, but I chose
Oh, you
it. I created it.
She made her own career.
Yeah, like if you take me to a restaurant, I don't like that. No,
Make your
I'm
own.
I'm gonna custom make my own. I'm gonna take this meat, this carb, and this fat, and this veggie, and then yes, it's on the menu, so why not make it a meal, right?
Right.
Price it out however you want, but this is what I want, and I
Right.
know what I want. So when it came to school, I went to school for a year, worked for a year, and so forth. And in the process, I got pregnant with my first son, and so that kept me from finishing sooner. So when I graduated Southeastern University, my son was a year and a half. And it was the same year that I found out that my son was going to be taken away from me 50% of the time. It was a custody battle for 2 years.
Wow.
My ex tried to take him completely away from me. So in the process of trying to finish school, which was very hard, and traveling, commuting, my ex was telling the courts that I was an unfit mom, that I should not be able to take care of my son. So that was a huge battle and resistance that I was going through, where anyone would have easily given up school and said, forget it, I'm defeated, I'm spending all this money, and I can't finish school right now. I don't like excuses. I can't stand when people just throw in the towel and quit. I look at obstacles and resistance as an opportunity to get stronger and to get better and to get more creative. So where most people quit, I embrace it. Hence why I got all this ink on me, because I embrace the pain.
Right.
I read something somewhere where they said the cure for pain is in the pain. So just like Cypress Hill said, bring the pain.
Bring it.
like
So I
that.
bring the pain. So that's another reason why I love training. Not every day do I want to train, because I'm human. I'd rather eat than train. But I'm into fitness because I could fit this whole pizza in my mouth. I could fit this whole cake in my mouth. So I have to learn balance and learn how do I eat what I want, but still look and feel the way that I want. And it's all about balance. So graduated Southeastern University in Mass Communications, and that was in 2010. So I actually wasn't even finished with school when I did radio. I took a break from school because I got the opportunity to be on radio. And I thought radio was going to be the opening door for me to go on TV. So I interned with Gail Guardo on News Channel 8. I wanted to be a news reporter. She talked me out of becoming one because at the time I did not know, because I was young and dumb, naive. She saw me as competition, taking her job.
Wow.
I didn't see it then. I was just naive and just listening to her and taking her advice. So I didn't pursue that aspect because she told me, oh, you're a single mom, you have a baby, you're going to have to work graveyard shifts, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. You don't want this life. You're going to hate it. Okay. And I just, listened to her and didn't pursue it. Needless to say, it just wasn't my path. And I just know that my path has media in it, whether it's radio, whether it's TV. I see visions of myself on stage. So at 44, I've been on stage multiple times. I introduced Danity Kane to 20,000 people when I was on the radio, and I felt at home. I felt at peace. I felt ecstatic. I wasn't nervous. I was excited. So I just know that in the big picture, I'm supposed to be reaching millions,
Right.
whether it's on the phone, going live, whether it's streaming, whether it's on stage. It could be multiple avenues through media. That's the beautiful thing about media, as you know. There's so many ways to reach people. So I just don't want to be stuck to Tampa. I've been here my whole life. I want to spread my wings and fly, and I love to explore. I love adventure. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
I love that. I love that. One of the things I took away from what you were saying, even though you created your own college path, you weren't afraid to take risks. So you took a lot of risk and learned from them, which kind of evolved you into who you are now, 44 Fierce. So it really makes sense of what you're saying, and it also shows the example of who you are, right? So as I was listening to you, that I was like tying both together. I'm like, okay, I see you.
Yes.
I see you. Yeah, that makes sense now. I see you.
I'm definitely a risk taker, which could, in the past, be reckless. So that's where, with wisdom, you can go really far and go really high. But when you lack wisdom and you're a risk taker, you can become reckless. Right. So that's where we have to learn balance. Is, yes, I've realized I am a risk taker, but in the wrong environment with the wrong people, that could become very reckless and very detrimental.
Understanding your risk.
Yes. So is that risk assessment? So I probably should do a risk assessment before I make a decision, which I never did in the past.
I feel like that's a speaking thing for her. Yeah. Risk assessment. That can be something you can talk about on stage.
Yeah. It's a good one. I like that.
Came up with your own speech.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I got a question for you. So you mentioned that you had this amazing upbringing where you were constantly in sports, and now you're a body architect. So talk to us a little bit about that. I know that's something that you coined.
Yes.
So I want the audience to really understand what that means and what's your impact behind that.
So as a body architect, I am way beyond a personal trainer. With 26 years of experience, I work more in the mind and the emotions of a person more so than the body. It's mind, body, spirit, and emotions. So my father was an architect, and in honor of my father, who passed away last June, he was a very successful man, but the most generous and giving man I've ever met. And with his legacy, I want to continue his legacy with helping people, because he did that through building houses. Now I want to do that through building self-esteem, building mindsets, building strong emotions, building warriors. Not warriors, but warriors. Because there's too many warriors out there, and I want to combat all those fears and worrying into becoming a warrior and being in faith, leveling up with your faith, being fierce. I want everybody to become fierce. I mean, we live in a very weak society, very weak-minded. Oh my gosh, you hurt my feelings. It's like, oh my God, really? Washington Redskins, we can't call them that because people got their feelings hurt? Really? It's just like, it's stuff like that where it's like, come on, genders and all that. Like, it's boy and girl. Okay, let's just, period. And I don't know why people get confused. Don't get it twisted. But it's just like we're in a confused society, and the confusion has caused weakness. If you don't have confusion and you have solidity, you have strength. It goes hand in hand, but when there's confusion there, people are like, well, I don't know. And then that's where the weakness comes in. So I just want to strengthen people. I want to build them up as a body architect. So they come to me for the body. Like, oh, I want arms like you. I want legs like you. I want to look like you at 44. I want to amount to that. However, they don't know what I had to go through here first. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, trusting God when nothing made sense, when everything was crumbling down and I felt like I was drowning and I thought I was going to drown. It is in those moments where I had to call on God and say, God, I don't understand what's going on. It doesn't make sense, but I trust you. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to trust the process that you're taking me through, no matter how painful it is, no matter how dark it is. I'm going to trust you. And that is why my spirituality, not religion, my spirituality, my relationship with God, there's no denomination there. It's straight up relationship, one-on-one. So I went to Catholic high school, and, I had to deal with religion class. Right. And the priest would, try to tell us X, Y, or Z. And I'm like, let me ask you something, priest. Why do I have to go to you to ask forgiveness for my sins when I got direct line to God? And I literally made him mumble, and he was stumped. And he basically was like, well, this is what, this is what we're taught. And when I'm in front of, I said, you're just as human as I am. You fail and fall. You lust. I lust. So what makes you any better than me? He's like, no, you're right. He goes, when I'm giving out communion and I'm saying the body of Christ, sometimes I'm looking at somebody and saying, Christ, what a body. He admitted that in class, which I applaud because he humbled himself. However, again, we don't need to go through man for forgiveness. We don't need to carry shame and guilt because of what we did or what somebody else did in our life. That's not ours to carry.
Yeah.
If you believe in God and you believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, then it is cleaned. That slate is clean, and we don't have to carry that anymore because he carried it on the cross. And by his blood, we are healed, we are set free, and we can walk in freedom. And that's the number one thing is I want to help people walk in freedom. Freedom from their past, freedom from worry, freedom from fear, freedom. That is my favorite word.
So give me 3 steps. So say a client comes to you, and obviously, they want to get their body right. But for the direction you take them in the mind, the spiritual aspect, what are 3 steps that you can give someone that's watching you now? What are 3 things you can tell them to do that can help them? Yeah, obviously, they still need to come to you to get the workout in and all that. But what three examples could you give them that can help them evolve in the mental or the spiritual aspect?
Well, number 1, stop dwelling on the past. The past is not going to change. It is what it is. It's done. It's buried. So make sure you keep it buried. Stop wasting time and energy digging the dirt and dwelling on what happened. Focus on what can happen now because I went through that. Right. I went through physical abuse. I went through verbal abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. Every abuse you could think of, I went through it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I dwelled on the past and here I am. No, I fixed myself. I did the work mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically because of what I went through. I put money and time into counseling, into coaching, so that I can become healed and I can help other people heal. So that's number 1, is stop dwelling on the past. 2, focus on solutions. What can I do to make my situation better? Go to counseling, get coaching, do Audible books. Every time I do a long trip, when I'm taking my son to school, I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to an Audible. And the one that I'm listening to right now is by Mel Robbins, Take Control of Your Life.
Oh, nice.
And I love it because, again, I may have heard that before, but I like the refreshing, the reiteration. And it's saying, if you focus on worrying, you're never gonna get control. So if you let go of worrying, you're gonna take control of your life. So you gotta change the response to fear. That's what it is. You have to change the response to fear. We all deal with fear. Yeah. We're human. Fear is gonna pop up. Things like, oh my gosh, is this gonna happen? Look at all these planes that are crashing. Right. It's crazy. Like, it's car accidents, plane accidents. There's accidents left and right. But is that gonna keep us from getting outside the door and doing what we're called to do? A lot of people are trapped at home because they fear something bad happening to them. Right. They fear getting into a relationship because they got hurt in many relationships. So we have to stop fear. So number 2, I would say get coaching, get counseling, get the healing that's needed from trauma. And number 3 is make a game plan to change your reaction to fear. You're going to deal with fear every single day of your life. Change your response to fear, and you're going to take control of your life.
I love it. I love it. Love it. So for those that are listening, 3 things that you can do to get yourself out of that worrying, that grasping the spiritual aspect, everything that you're going through. There are steps. Stop living in the past, right? Find a solution, and then number 3, create a game plan. I'm on the money?
Yes, you're on it, money.
So with that, right, I know last year was one of the roughest years for you. And to kind of segue into what you were just telling other people, would you say that those are the steps, part of the steps that you applied to yourself?
100%. So from when I was in my 20s versus my 40s, we're gonna go through stuff.
Right.
Things are gonna unexpected. Things are gonna happen. Storms are gonna come. But what I do know is that the storms will pass. So when I'm going through my own personal storm, I say, okay, get that umbrella, get that raincoat, get the rain boots, and let's dance in the rain. Let's make the best of this because we can't change what's happening. I can't change that my father passed away.
Right.
I can't change that, my mom's in her world and and she's taking it a different route. I can't change my children. I can't change their fathers. I can't change the situation. All I can do is focus on how am I going to change to become better in this situation. I focus on me and not to take anything personal. That's another big thing. Don't take it personal. If other people, are choosing their life and their decisions and it's affecting me, why is it affecting me? Is it because they're family? Is it because they live close by? Is it most of the time it's family and it's people that, are in your circle. So we have to understand that. Don't take it personal. And when you stop taking it personal, you react differently.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So I just learned, what are my triggers? What did I go through in my past? What trauma, what things that I brought into my life through trauma that I created that is hurting me, that's self-sabotaging me? Well, stop doing that.
Right.
So, for the past 12 years, I've been single. I've dated people, but it hasn't lasted very long. And I'm saying no longer than 60 days because no longer than 60 days. In 12 years.
2 months?
Like less than 2 months. Yes, Malcolm, less than 2 months. Why? Because I get triggered. And she's a runner. She's a track star. I told you I run. I'm a track runner, right?
Yeah,
so in
on the track
right,
field.
but then I took it emotionally. I took it into relationships,
Yeah.
and I saw myself running because I'm like I would get scared. The fear would come up, and I'd run. Fear, run. And so I didn't notice that until I started doing the work.
Mechanism.
So then I said, okay, I need to change that aspect of me. So I know what I want, especially in your 40s, especially when you're a mom. The biological clock isn't ticking. It's not like I need to have babies and stuff. So it's about partnership. I want to find a good partner. So there's things that if they're an alcoholic, done, bye. That's in the past.
Yeah.
Why am I going to repeat the past? So they don't last long because I have high standards. My dad set a very high standard for me. He was the provider. He was, clean. He didn't have a lot of dysfunction. So when I was dating, it's basically, okay, that's a no-no, that's a deal breaker, that's a deal breaker. So I would just cut it off. I wouldn't entertain it or prolong it because one, my time is money.
Right.
I ain't got time to waste. I ain't got money to waste. I got kids. I'm not trying to have them meet a bunch of guys. So I just knew what I wanted and it wasn't that. So the past 12 years, I've been very, I've known and especially in the dating situations, you could see how you react to certain things. Like, okay, I need to work on this. I need to work on my reaction for that. Now, this is the first time in 12 years that I've actually am dating somebody and we're past 60 days.
Oh, yeah?
That's exciting.
First time in 12 years.
I'm going to ask you,
Phenomenal.
how far past 60 days?
We're talking 77 days.
Girl.
But it's forward. It's
progress.
in 12
that
years.
is.
That's huge.
That
That's a
is.
streak that was broken,
I was
Malcolm. Come
thinking,
on.
I was like, oh, yeah, 6 months. There we go.
He on his toes.
Hope.
That's awesome.
Hey, he got it. You got it.
But again, it's knowing, okay, these are having those hard conversations up front, not waiting for
So-
6 months.
Right.
And that's another reason why they haven't lasted because I put all my cards on the table up front saying, all right, I'm a mom, I got this, I got that, this is what happened to me in the past. If any of this scares you, there's a door. Don't waste my time and I won't waste yours. Boom. And it's easier that way.
Yep.
Versus people will say, well, you say too much too soon. I'm like, that's your opinion.
Correct.
But in my life, I ain't got time to waste. And I want to know up front if that person is capable of handling someone like me, because I have a lot. I got a lot of tools in my toolbox. I got a lot of, I'm dealing with some heavy stuff that I bring to the table because it's experience.
Right.
It's hurt and heartache, but I also got power from it because I healed from it. The scars are there. The pain's no longer there. The scars are there. So I'm scarred up. I'm scuffed up. Are you
Right.
okay with that? In a world that we live in, a Photoshop world, in a filtered world, too many people don't want to see that.
Right.
They just want to live in la la land, a fantasy land.
Yeah. 100%.
And so reality is reality.
Correct.
Right.
So it's just about being healthy. My whole goal is, 1, I need to be healthy. 2, I want my kids to be healthy. 3, I want the people that come into my path to be healthy. And I have to be a walking billboard of that if I want to exude that and inquire more clients to help out. It's just, it's a contradiction if my house is a mess and I'm trying to tell you how to clean your house.
Correct. Makes sense. I'm with you when you're right. 77 days. I'm just saying.
I'm excited.
I'm with you.
Hey, I'm excited because, at this point, I would have told him to leave, like, kick rocks, like, bye. Or I would have been bored. That's another thing. I would have been like, ugh, I'd rather be single, But it's like, at this point in my life, I'm ready. And I want partnership. And I want fun. I want exploration. And the beauty of this situation is that his mindset and his heart is exactly where mine is, to help people and healing. So it's like, I feel it's a godsend. And you don't know how things last. None of us have tomorrow guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm living in the moment.
Right.
I'm not living in the past. I'm not living in the future. I'm living right now, right here, in the present, and saying, I'm loving my life. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I got 2 beautiful boys. I'm in a relationship that brings me joy, that brings me peace, that brings me excitement, something that I could see growing into a business where we could both be together.
He made Instagram.
Yeah, he did make Instagram. That's a huge deal.
saw that.
Yeah, see? When you make Instagram, if I'm posting you, that's official.
real.
That's legit. That's like me saying, "Hey guys, I'm no longer on the market. I've taken myself off MLS. Like my eyes are not looking at anybody else. I'm not entertaining anybody else. There's no side pieces. This is my entree and I'm eating it. That's it.
I love it.
That's my appetizer, entree, and
Straight to the
dessert.
point.
Right.
Shout out to
I'm not
you.
trying to look for anything else on the
Yeah.
side.
Good.
That's amazing. So talk to us about what you got coming up. I know you got some partnerships, some amazing opportunities coming down the line. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about that.
So, like I said, I love to travel, and I
Yeah.
love, I've been here my whole life. So I got an opportunity to be a therapist and be the recovery queen for an independent baseball league. So Black Sox Pro Baseball goes on tour every year from April to May. And they go all the way up to York, Pennsylvania, Chicago, California, throughout the United States for that time being. And they asked me to go on tour with them to work on all the baseball players. Wow. And I'm so excited because, look, full circle. I grew up in a baseball field.
Yeah,
I
that
played
is true.
baseball. I even coached baseball with my first son when he was a little boy. I went to sign him up for baseball, and they said, we need another coach. If he wants to play, we need another coach. So I was asking people to, coach, and I ended up being, recruited. So I ended up coaching Boston Red Sox for my little boy,
Wow.
back, 14 years ago. So again, this is what excites me about life, is that God knows our beginning and our end. We don't. We just get to be like, okay, what's next? And just be in the moment, right? And just like be excited about the surprises of life. So this was totally a surprise, but it was an opportunity. And it's also an obstacle because I have a son.
That is true.
And how am I going to pursue this opportunity and still be that mom to my son when it's a split household? So I'm in the process, like I've already talked to all the teachers, and they're giving me all the work for my son to get it done either before we leave or on the road. Now, I gave my son an option. I said, do you want to go with your dad and continue and being with him for that, 6 to 7 weeks, or do you want to come with me on the road? He's like, I want to come with you on the road.
Yeah, there's no question.
So it's an exciting opportunity for him because he is a soccer player. He wants to become a professional soccer player. It's not just a hobby he wants. He literally watches soccer on his phone, and he's in it. He's hungry. He's driven. He's great. But he also is academically genius, like not because I'm his mom, but he's in 7th grade and 8th grade math and science, and he's in 6th grade. He gets bored. I wonder who he gets that from.
Mom.
So he wants to be challenged. So I said, you know what? What about homeschooling? If this is the route you want to go and you get bored and you don't want to wait till 18 to graduate, there is an option where you can graduate sooner. You can have a business, because he's all about money. He is so driven by money. Like, his birthday's coming up next month. And I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? He's like, I want a money birthday. Because the last time I got him a cake and you pull the money out, and it was like a money theme, and everybody brought cash, and he loved it. And he's like, can we do that again? I was like, I don't know if we could do that again. However, I just know he's so money driven that I said, well, if you get homeschooled and you help me with my business and you help, with the Black Sox, learn the behind the scenes, learn the ropes, learn to be on the field, learn to be a clubby. Like, there's all these different opportunities where he can actually make money and be on the field.
Yeah.
He loved that. He was like, yes, I'll do whatever he's like, I'll clean up dog poop. If I got to clean up dog poop, I'll do whatever it takes, because he loves the opportunity and he's excited that he can build something at his age. He's going to be 12. Yeah. I'm like, we should be empowering our youth to be business owners and have their own business, have several businesses when they're 18 versus going to college.
Right.
Yes, college is great. However, have the mindset of like, what do you want to do in college? Because I had no idea what I wanted to do in college. Nobody stimulated my brain enough to have those conversations at 12 years old. It was just go through the programming, go through the motions. It's like you're a sheep going to the slaughter. You're just like, you're in a rat race. And I don't want him to go through that. I want him to see all the opportunities that he can do so that he doesn't feel stuck or he doesn't feel restricted. So I'm planning on taking him on the road with me.
That's neat. So the Black Sox, they're out of Tampa?
So they're out of West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach, okay.
And with...
Is it what is it? The minor league?
It's independent baseball league.
Okay.
So independent. So there's American Association, Frontier League, Pioneer League, and Atlantic League. So there's 4 leagues in the independent baseball world. And so I'm also able to help high schoolers, seniors that are graduating that don't have an opportunity to play baseball, but they want to play baseball. This is a segue for them to explore and like, wow, I didn't know that this was an option. So it's giving people hope, giving these kids hope and excitement that if you have the love of baseball and you're skilled in baseball and you spend a lot of time in baseball, even though MLB is not going to pick you up and you're not going for the major leagues, you don't have to shoot that high, work your way up. Yeah, you can still get paid and play and build those connections and build yourself during those years of like 21 to 30.
I mean, if you think about it, MLB, the way they get paid, and then even the lower, like, I'm pretty sure independent get paid very well.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they get paid. Because
America's
MLB,
pastime.
The way they get paid, I'm like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
oh my goodness. I can be in it. I can play baseball at 50?
Right?
Get millions at 50?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's never too late.
No, I'm okay. I don't want to. I can barely run up and down a basketball court without getting injured. So, with that, right, you're impacting in many different places. The one that stands out to me, I'm pretty sure you already know, is impacting others in the world of like financial, building their dreams, getting where they need to be at. So I know we were talking a little bit about Belux, and tell me if I'm saying that incorrectly.
Oh, Blexit.
Blexit.
Yes,
I said
Blexit.
it wrong.
It's okay.
Belux is the casino place. In
Okay. We talking money.
Going there, dude.
one in Alabama.
I know you about face.
It was like, oh man, he's here. No, but now you're one of the directors.
Assistant State Director
Yes.
of Blexit for Florida.
Talk to us. Tell us about it. Now that's my
Yes.
that's where.
So Blexit is owned by Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. So 2 powerhouses coming together to create this amazing program to help minorities go from a victim mentality to a victor mentality. And I love that. I love leveling people up. So if we could level them up mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, boom. Like, come on. You left your legacy. You did your job. All right, ready for my promotion. Let's go.
Right.
And next.
Yeah.
So I have that opportunity to travel the United States, which I've already traveled to Philly. They've come to Tampa. Texas. And so every 3 to 4 months, they have these Night of Face, they have America Fest, and they pick different places. We just came from Arizona in December, and all these big names come to talk. I mean, Trump came to talk. We're talking like ESPN, like Sage Steele, all these like big media platforms and legacy. I'm talking about like, we're talking like epic legends coming up on stage to talk, and you're just gaining so much knowledge from their stories because they had to go through something to get to where they're at. You know, nothing great comes easy.
Right.
So I love hearing the stories. Like you see somebody like, oh, I've reached success, but what did they have to go through to get there? And that's where it's inspiring, is to hear their stories. So that's another reason why I love Blexit, is because it gives me an opportunity to meet all these important people that have made a name for themselves, but also to see and hear their story and to actually see them in person and talk to them, which, like today, there is an event at USF with Charlie Kirk.
Tell us.
Because I got so much going on that I'm like, I just need my calendar at all times, like, following me. You know, like you have like the, on your car, you know, the stuff, like, I wish it was like right there. Like, okay, so right here, but it's not yet. We'll make it happen. I'm sure Elon Musk will, you know, create something like that.
Right.
So, you know, it's a lot, but I love being busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in one place. You know, that's why I can't have a 9-to-5 job. That's why I can't, you know, I went to school for mass communications and education. I double majored my freshman year because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
I just knew I wanted to be great, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when I kept thinking about education for that first year, I didn't want to be stuck in a classroom every day the entire year. I felt like, I feel like I'd be trapped in a cage. I don't want that. So I love to teach, but I don't want to be stuck in a room all day. So that's where Blexit gives me that opportunity and that platform to travel and to teach and educate no matter where we are and no matter where we go. And we do stuff like inner city in the communities where we'll help, you know, like Section 8 clean up their community and empower them, love on them. Because the number one way to really impact people is loving on them.
100%.
Yeah.
No matter who they are, whether they're a janitor or a CEO, love.
Absolutely.
You can't go wrong when you love. Now, when people, you know, poop on you from loving on them, then you know what? No hard feelings. You just know not to keep giving yourself to that person. You go to the next person that does, you know, that needs to be loved on. And it's like you live and learn, a give and take. It's like, okay, but they experienced that love, even though they didn't respond to it properly. They experienced it, and God's going to use that down the road when somebody else comes to love on them. It's just they're going to water that seed. So no regrets. You just got to love. There's no regrets in loving.
How would someone get involved in what you all are doing?
So great question. BlexitAmerica.com. So on Instagram, it's Blexit America. We are creating Blexit for every state. So right now, and I think either this week or next week, we should be solidifying the Florida Blexit Instagram, and I'm going to be in charge of that. So it'll be Blexit Florida or Blexit FL, but I will definitely confirm and I'll share it on my social media, and I'm definitely going to promote that on my social media, which is at Mia Motivation. So it's at MIAMOTIVATION.com, or my website's .com, but the Instagram is at Mia Motivation. So right now it's Blexit America on Instagram, because most people, that's where they go to check out things, is Instagram. So,
Yeah.
but if they want to go to the website, it's BlexitAmerica.com.
Same thing, but just a .com at the end.
Basically, yeah.
I love it. Listen, as soon as we done with this, I'm jumping on there.
Yes.
I love it. I love.
Yeah, you would love it. And the people, like, so the last event that we went to, all the leadership came together, and we did a rock, paper, scissors competition. It was wild. And guess who won?
The owners.
I
knew you were. I was waiting for her to say that.
I was like, Lilo, me? Like, I've never, like, really, like, been a good paper, rock, scissors, but it was...
So you're good at...
It was
good at rock, paper, scissors?
it was the excitement of like, all right, what you gonna do? You know, it was more of like the competitive aspect of me.
What's up? Best 2 out of 3.
Okay, ready?
Hey, we doing this
Rock,
live.
paper, scissors, shoot. Damn.
Oh, she got you.
Bam, bam.
All right,
She
one
got
more.
you.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh my goodness.
Boom, boom, firepower. I mean, I just proved myself. Yeah.
Undefeated.
Well, as a host of, I have to make sure the
yeah.
guest
Discretion had nothing to do with this
I have
episode.
to make sure
that wasn't planned. He
Wasn't
lost.
planned.
I'm supposed to do that. I read her mind. I knew what she was gonna do.
Because you're a legend.
There we go. See,
Which I love your hat.
thank you.
I have the one that says wild and has a horse on it.
The horse.
Yeah.
I have like 5 different ones.
Yeah, you do.
You got the goat?
Goats.
Yeah.
I got the goat.
Did you wear the goat when I met you when you were speaking?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. The black one, I think, was the goat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I love that one.
Hmm. So when are you speaking again?
When am I
We
speaking?
need to do something.
I would say maybe, I think March 15th, Drix is going to be doing a faith and fitness boot camp every month.
Okay.
And I told him that I would partner up with him on that one so we could do the flyer and actually promote it. I helped him this last one last minute because the other trainer had an emergency.
Gotcha.
So I stepped in literally the night before and said, yep, I'll be there. I'll be available. So, but I did speak. I did speak
I
there.
saw.
Yeah, I just, wasn't like prepared, but
Yeah.
I don't
When you
really, I don't
ready,
need
you
to
ain't
be
gotta-
prepared.
yeah, when you
Yeah.
ready.
I don't want you to take notes or write a speech. It's in me.
Yeah.
It's like it's either in you or not. Like
Correct.
just let it out. So,
Correct.
but I mean, any opportunity I get, I'll speak. Like when you invited me on this, I was like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I wanna share. Sharing is caring.
Yes. Talk to me, man.
I'm just blown away. I'm just happy that she came here and she gave us her time. So I'm always thinking 5 steps ahead. But yeah, I'm just happy that you came. We definitely want to have more women of your caliber on the show to really express. Because I think for the 99%, a lot of people, to your point, see the final product, but they don't know, like, hey, she was a mom. There are things in your story that people can relate to. You were a single mom. You went through a custody battle. You have 2 sons. You grew up with two brothers. Your father passed away. All these stories, someone can relate to. So, and that was really the concept when we first came up with the shows. How do we build this bridge to the people that I would consider you in that 1% where you have been successful? Like you said, you don't work a 9 to 5. You work for yourself. You partner in a lot of opportunities, but your template can be the story that somebody else can pull something out of and really inspire to do better or to try something different. Right. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us today.
So the reason why I started my company is because I was working for a big chain gym as a personal trainer director. So it's called a PTD for LA Fitness. I was working as PTD, and my job was to close as many clients, get as many people to sign up.
Me.
Well, it wasn't me, see? But that's the thing is I was always blamed, and I hated that because I had no control over what corporate was saying.
Right.
So they would say, okay, this is your quota. This is how many people you have to sign up. Close them, seal the deal. Well, I know how to seal a deal because I know how to connect.
Correct.
And I speak from, like, what do you need? This is what I can do to help you with your needs. And I was personal, and I was relational, where corporate is transactional.
All numbers.
All transactional. So when it came to say the 2 of you wanted to come to me and I give you the first session of training, you're going to think you're going to continue training with me. No, what corporate does is they bring in an inexperienced personal trainer to train you on session 2 and so forth, whatever your contract that you agreed to. And they're like, wait, hold up. No, you flipped it. Like I wanted to train with Mia, and now they're training with Brittany. Well, Brittany's not me, and you don't want to train with Brittany. You prefer my energy. You prefer my experience. So then you have a complaint, and you then bring it up to corporate. Well, corporate's like, well, so sorry. You're stuck. Right. There's no refund. There's no Mia. Like, you're stuck with Brittany because Mia doesn't train. Mia's a PTD. She overlooks the training. Think about how many people were upset that happened. Too many to count. And it frustrated me. I look like the bad guy because I can't help them. I can't train them. I can't change the situation. Yeah. And it was a Mother's Day, and they were making me work.
Wow.
And I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. It's Mother's Day. I got 2 boys, and it's my day to spend time with them. They're not going to go to their dad's on Mother's Day. They're going to go to church with me, and they're going to have brunch with me, and I'm going to look pretty, and I want to take pictures with my kids. So that's not happening. Okay. Well, then you either, you have to work. There's no, like, you have to work. I said, well, then I'm not, and I'm done. Yeah. So I quit, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pick somebody that needs a transformation. I picked this young, like 20-year-old Indian overweight kid that couldn't afford me at LA Fitness. And I called him up. I said, listen, I know you needed me, and I know you wanted me, but you couldn't afford me. How about this? I'm no longer working for them. You train with me for 3 months. Be my testimonial so that I could build my business. And he said, let's go. He not only lost a bunch of weight, lost a bunch of inches, but he got out of depression. His self-esteem increased. He started talking to people. He started talking to girls. He's now addicted to bodybuilding, and he's living his best life.
I love that.
Because somebody took the time and didn't care about the money to believe in him and teach him. Take the time. So 3 months I dedicated to him 3 times a week. He changed his eating. He trained with me 3 times a week. He struggled, but it was in that where I was able to build me a motivation. And I didn't build me a motivation until after my second child. So after having my second son, the family breaking up because of alcoholism. His father was an alcoholic. He refused to get help or stop drinking. I gave him the ultimatum. I'm like, well, this is not what I signed up for. So we're not married. We're not engaged. You either quit drinking or you leave the house, because he moved in with me 4 days before I had the baby. I did it all by myself. Both pregnancies I did by myself.
Wow.
So I'm self-sufficient because I've had to do it by myself.
You don't know no other way.
I didn't complain. I didn't cry about it. I said, well, what do I got to do this? I'm going to do this. God's given me the ability. He's going to give me the strength. He's going to give me the tools. I don't know how it looks. I don't know what I'm going to be using, but I have that belief. And so when my son was 4 months old, he left. And it was in that time of my life where I was like, this is the second time broken home. Now I got 2 baby daddies. I have shame. I have guilt. I'm hurting. I look bad. This is not a good look. This is a circus. It's a mess. I was in the lowest part of my life, and I was 32 at the time. And I was at a fork in the road, and I was saying, what do I do? I could either do something really stupid and hurt myself and hurt my kids, or I need to figure this out. But I had all this hurt and energy and emotion inside of me. So I spent $6,000 getting counseling. Did I have it? No. Credit card.
Yep.
When you don't have it, you make it happen. If you're hungry, you're going to go out and kill it. You're going to go hunt. Are you going to sit there and cry about it, or are you going to get up and do something about it? So I got up and did something about it. I got counseling, and she told me this, and this is something I'll never forget. She goes, what is the one thing that you've always wanted to do but felt it was impossible to do? And after thinking about it, I said, I want to do a fitness competition. I've been in fitness my whole life, but I love food so much. I'm Cuban. Food is forced down my esophagus at all times every day. You get a plate that's like 5 portions, and you're made to eat the entire plate, or you're going to get grounded. You're not going to be able to talk on the phone. You're not going to be outside and play with your friends. You're not going to go ride bike. You can't do nothing. You got to finish that plate. So I was trained to eat big portions. We're trained as Americans to eat the entire thing, a portion, no matter what culture you are. Like, usually you're trained, unless you're like Asian and they eat like throughout the day. Yeah. It's like we should learn from that. So I had to change my relationship with food. I had to change my mindset on how I looked at food and how I ate and how I felt. Sometimes you have to say, F feelings. What is the right thing to do right now? So I went ahead, I hired a coach. And again, I didn't have the money, but he was a friend of mine at the gym, and he said, listen, I'll train you with another girl. So just give me $100 a week, and I'll give you the meal plan. I'll train you because I want to help you. I see your situation. In 7 months, I went from a broken, hurting single mom, sad single mom, to winning my first national qualification fitness competition 1 year after having my second son at 33 years old.
Wow.
At 33. That fueled me with fire and belief. That's where Mia Motivation was birthed.
Wow.
It was from March of 2013 to April of 2014, I worked on myself. I went from a sad, broken, insecure girl that was bleeding from trauma, past trauma that I didn't know what to do with, to then finding a counselor, doing intense counseling, and a coach to help me. And in 1 year, I won my first, as inexperienced, not ever going to a fitness competition. I did this all by myself. Nobody came with me to this competition. I went by myself. It was crazy scary. I pulled my hamstring. I was running through the convention center trying to get to my event. I was the first event. I almost got disqualified because they called my name 3 times and I wasn't there yet. And I literally stripped my warm-up suit off and I said, you can't tell me no. I've worked too hard to be here. And I got myself on stage and I did my routine and I won. They told me no. And I said, no, I'm here and I'm doing it. So I didn't take no. I didn't receive no because I knew how hard I worked and that I was supposed to be there.
Wow.
You're a superhero.
So, were you a wrestler or something?
So I was on WWE 2022.
You can write a book, Mia.
I should write a book.
At this
I
point,
should write a book.
I'm challenging you. I need you to write a book.
You're not the first person to say it. So I do need to take some time and block off and say, no distractions. I need to write this book. So I was training my gym is out of my garage. They say every rock star starts out of their garage. So I'm in the garage for now, but I want to take me and motivation. I want to take my business and go big.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to go completely online. I don't want to have it out of my garage. One, because it's risky, having strangers come to your house. And it's not like I have a husband there to protect me, but I do have Smith & Wesson protecting me. So I do have Smith & Wesson, and I do have security cameras. So for anybody that wants to come to my house and train, just know you're being recorded. And I'm packing. I'm a pistol packing mama. So I got a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning from a wrestler that was in the business, and he says, hey, Mia, what do you think about being on WWE, being in front of millions of people on the biggest global television station? I'm like, I'm ready. I just knew that one day I was going to get that phone call, that I didn't need to chase it. Yeah. I didn't need to be a cleat chaser. I didn't need to be like a fame chaser. I don't care about fame. I care about legacy. I care about impact. That's what I care about. So I'm like, God knows my heart. Being in the right place at the right time, doing the right things when nobody's looking, it's going to happen. The door is going to open. So it was that time where I got that phone call and I said, I'm ready. He says, okay, well, I need you to be here in 2 days. So I had to cancel and reschedule stuff. And he says, I also need you to pick 4 different women that you're going to be working with. I need one girl to be a white girl. I need a black girl. I need a mixed girl. And you're Latin. So, and then he just gave me the aspects of what WWE was looking for. So what did I do? I went to work. I went to Instagram. I went to my friends. I was hitting up, which is the white girl that I could work with? I was, what's the mixed girl? What's the black girl? What's the, Asian girl? I was just trying to find the different demographics of who would I want to work with on national television. You would be surprised how many girls denied me because, my man doesn't want me to do it. And it wasn't their husband. Wow. It was a boyfriend. I was like, girl, bye. I was like, you're giving up a huge opportunity over somebody that is not even your husband. I'm like, all right, you know what? Yeah. You're not my person. Next. So I had to call a lot of people. And the first time we were on national television, they didn't like 2 out of the girls that I picked. So I had to replace those 2 for the next series. It was supposed to be a one and done. It wasn't even supposed to be an ongoing thing. And it was during COVID.
Wow.
So it was in the Thunderdome at USF. And so there was no live audience. It was live, but there was no audience there. So then they told me, okay, we're going to keep you and 2 other girls, but we need you to pick 2 of the other girls. So I picked the other 2. They loved our chemistry so much on the second episode that they kept us for 8 episodes. We were only supposed to be one and done. But God had other plans.
Abundance, yep.
And, I met some amazing people through it. My followers increased because of it. I didn't realize how big of a world WWE is. I mean, fans out of the woodworks were coming out. I was like, you're a fan? You're a fan? But you're in politics and you're into this. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was in WWF back in the day because, I'm an 80s girl and I had 2 older brothers and my Barbies were playing with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. That's the wrestling I knew as, the fun aspect.
Yeah.
Not like the act. And, I wrestled with my brothers and got banged up. But, so everybody thought I was going to actually wrestle on WWE. Oh, you're perfect for that. I'm like, I'm in my 40s. I don't want to be wrestling. I want to protect my neck and my back.
Right.
I'm actually in the healing industry for a reason because of the past injuries. I'm not trying to incur more injuries. Right. So for everybody that is asking, why I wasn't on WWE wrestling, it's because I didn't pursue it. I didn't want it. I wanted the entertainment aspect, and it was just a platform to be seen, to be heard, and that's exactly what happened. And, God opened a bunch of doors from that through different podcasts, different interviews.
Yeah.
So because of WWE, I was able to meet a lot of amazing people and speak through a lot of channels to different people, an audience that I would have never spoken to. And I got flown and paid to do meet and greet in New York to a bunch of wrestling fans. I got to have my posters of me printed. I got to sign them. I got little kissing cards with my picture on it, my name. I felt like a celebrity. I was like, ooh, I love this. This is nice,
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't really seek it out. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah,
Like,
you're walking in your purpose.
I love just connecting, and I love being in front of people. So, like, I didn't chase the limelight. Everybody's the same. No matter what lighting you're under or in front of, we're all the same. When we go to the bathroom, it's going to stink. All right? Nobody's better than you. It's like, so we just got to stay humble, but stay confident and stay focused.
I can see why so many brands want to work with you. The energy that you bring out, like, it doesn't change. When we met you at Faith and Fitness at that event, your energy was A1. Here today, seeing you on social media, like, you know how you have those people that when the camera's on, they're different. I mean, well, they're like a whole nother person, but when it goes off, you're like,
The energy changes.
you're like, bro, what you? Like,
Yeah, it was a facade.
yeah, you're who you are, like, so it makes sense why so many people flock to you and look at you as a super role model. So your flowers from me.
Thank you.
I salute you.
Thank you. Well, I'm big about authenticity.
Yes.
That's one thing that I tell people that I work with and I come across is it's very important to be honest and to be authentic and to be genuine. Don't put up a front. Don't front. I got your open. I will uncover that. I will expose that. I'm like, nah, bruh. I see you. Take the mask off.
Yeah, for real.
Mask off. Like, take the filters off. Take the makeup off. Like, most of the time I don't have makeup on because I don't want to cover up my face. I do makeup if I'm going to be in front of, lighting and cameras and TV. But other than that, it's like, why? It's like, show people who you are.
Yeah.
Don't cover it up. God made you that way to be seen, not to be covered. So thank you.
Amazing. So, last but not least, tell the audience where they can find you if they want to reach out, get in contact with you, possibly work out with you. I know you're working on digitizing all your courses and products. So, by all means, let them know where they can find you.
Well, I'm actually in the process of building out MindBody right now. So MindBody is an app. It's one of the biggest fitness apps where you can book fitness and recovery. And so I'm in like the third week. So we're building it out. So I would say by March 1st, it should be ready to go so that they could sign up and do virtual training with me and also live streaming with me. So they can get the videos and they can also do streaming. Because ultimately, I want to be able to train anybody, anywhere. And location shouldn't be
A problem.
an obstacle.
Barrier,
Right. So, but for now, it's miamotivation.com is my website. That's where they can send me messages. That's where they can do a questionnaire and tell me what they're looking for. They can see my services on there. I mean, customized nutrition plan is like the number one thing people should do because everyone needs to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everyone needs a workout because not everyone can work out depending on injuries or their schedule. Because a lot of people say, I don't got time. We all got the same time. I hate that. I hate that excuse. We all got the same time. It's just taking the time, making the time to meal prep, to get your food in order. What does that look like? I teach you that. I make it very simple. Like I use a KISS method. Keep it simple and sweet. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. It's no point. That's where people stop doing things because they get overwhelmed. Don't take one step at a time. And I break it down. I'm very, very, very like realistic. All right, this is your schedule? Cool. I can relate to it because as a single mom running and juggling and doing all this stuff, if I can do it, I'll teach you how to do it because I had to do it. I chose to do it. I didn't have to do it. I wanted to do it. So I found a way to do it. And through that experience, it's value. Now I teach other people, not just moms. I mean, that's my target demographic because I am a mom, and there's a lot of moms struggling out there.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to help whoever needs the help and is ready to make that commitment. So nutrition plan, customized nutrition plan is by far, to me, when I'm talking about as a body architect, the foundation of your home should be your nutrition. Right there. If you're not fueling your car, how are you going to expect to drive anywhere without breaking down?
Right.
There's people breaking down left and right, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So how do you avoid that? Setting the foundation. You are in control of what you eat. I can't make you eat what you put in your mouth. You can't. The three of us cannot control anything that's happening around us. The only thing we can control, what we put in our mouth, whether it's liquid or food. So if I can teach you how to get a hold of that, man, if you overcome that and you make that solid, you're 80% ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So now you just got to work on that 20%. You get that situated, you get that solid, that nutrition aspect solid, the rest is 20%. So when people are like, oh, I haven't done anything, you want to be 80% better? You want to feel 80% better? You want to look 80% better? Nutrition plan. And it's affordable. It's $300. Really. You blow $300 on Amazon like this.
Yeah.
On Instagram ads like this.
Yeah.
Like it's $300 to get a customized nutrition plan for me. And I base it on your blood type and on your goals.
Wow.
Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to gain muscle? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to maintain? I teach you how to live the rest of your life. Only $300. It's stupid cheap. It's literally like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like I'm giving you tools to the kingdom. For your kingdom to reign and rule. And that's so I would tell people to start there because I can work with anybody anywhere with a customized nutrition plan. They don't have to train. Now when they get that on point and they've done it for like a good 3 months, they're like, yes, I'm solid with this. I feel better. I got the energy. I'm feeling like I can train now. Beautiful. Now let's focus on 20%, which is a training. Yeah. Whether you're doing it from home, whether you're doing it in the park, whether you're doing it in the gym, or on the beach, you could train anywhere you want. You just got to schedule the time, cut that time out, make a commitment, I'm going to work out. You could do it in your room. You could do it in your backyard. You can do it anywhere. You don't need a gym.
Yeah.
And I teach people that.
Wow. Well, $300 can make a change for a lifetime. I love that. I always put value behind a certain dollar amount. And if that value outweighs the dollar amount, it's a no-brainer.
ROI, baby. Return on investment.
Absolutely.
You're going to get way more than what you put in. That's a guarantee.
Feel way better than one.
Oh, 100%. And think about the medical bills that you don't have to pay down the road.
That's true.
You're preventing a bunch of diseases, a bunch of injuries, and more importantly, you got one life to live. How are you living it? Do you want to be 76 in a wheelchair, stuck in a hospital? Do you want to be 76 traveling, exploring, having fun? I'm all about fun. You have to, if you want to incentivize me on something, tell me it's fun. Because if it's not fun, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I make working out fun. I created my gym to look like a nightclub. I got gym. My gym is a club. You go in there, it's like,
y'all turning up.
It's club lights. And when the lights come on, I'm like, it's like 3:00 in the morning, like people going home. Like, no, turn the lights back on. All right, yes. It's like I want people to like let loose. Without the lights being right on them, like a big gym, they have the lights on them. Have fun, dance. Like as long as you're moving and you're vibing and you're breathing and you're getting that blood circulation. And when you do that, you get serotonin producing in your body. That's the happy juices that come out. We need that to fight depression. Do you know Cat Williams I just went to Cat Williams last weekend. Amazing. He said that more people die of depression than of cancer.
Wow.
Think about that.
I believe it.
Think about that.
I believe it 100%.
And I believe depression can cause cancer. We can manifest disease with what we're dwelling on, with what we're believing, with what we're thinking on. Our thoughts are very powerful. Our words are very powerful. So if we're dwelling on all the negative aspect, again, going back to that number 1 rule, stop dwelling on the past. You will save yourself so much money, so much heartache, so much self-sabotage. So again, it fights depression. When you work out, when you dance, when you move, when you do things that make you happy and excited, you're fighting depression. You're preventing depression. Mm-hmm. And we live in a very depressed world.
Yeah. Agreed.
I love that.
It's probably my favorite interview.
Yay!
It's awesome. Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
it's funny when I first met him, I'm like, man, I think I told her, I said, I love your energy.
Yes.
Since I first met her, so I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was great.
Well, I believe God has given me a healing energy, and I want to
Absolutely.
share that. I don't want to keep that.
Yeah.
I want to share that to as many people that want it, that need it, that deserve it. And again, it's there, but you got to make a commitment. You got to make a choice and make a commitment because it's there. I don't restrict certain people. I'm like, well, I only work with women.
Yeah.
So men, sorry. No, I work with whoever is willing, wanting, and ready.
Absolutely. I love it. Where the 1%ers who thought they were by themselves, Mia just gave the 99%ers the key
Yes.
to step into another realm, which pushes that 1% to 2-3%, because we filled it up with those individuals that didn't believe, but now they do because of Mia. I want to say once again, I know he already said thank you so much for joining us. It's definitely a privilege. I love. See, when I listen, I take things away, and it makes sense to me of who you are. I already gave you your flowers, but for those that are watching and those that are looking, I don't know which one my camera is anymore, but that's totally fine. For those that are watching and are listening, everything that you've gone through, everything that you're going through, you may, because I remember you said earlier, you may have the scars or the pain that was there once before, but you can overcome those things. You can overcome them and become the face of many brands, become the parent of how many kids you have, become the example that the world needs to look at. You can be anything and everything you put your mind to, one, by letting go of the past, two, by finding different solutions as far as coaching, therapy, those things, and then also hitting a game plan that will align you in the right direction. That alone will get you there. So you broke that down. That stands with me. You broke that down, and I would love to have you back.
I would love to come
love to
back.
have you back.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you
gotta
so
be
much.
outside next time. Though.
Yes.
Working out.
Yeah.
Working out.
Maybe March 15th.
yeah.
We'll do
Or-
the boot camp.
March 15th.
Yeah.
If I commit to it on here, I'm held accountable.
It's a Saturday.
you notice I was about to say, I was like, hold on, let me not commit.
Yeah.
Let me not
Rewind.
commit. I know where we can do it in her gym.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be dope. That'd
Absolutely.
be dope. Yeah.
You need experience me in motivation. You got to experience my sanctuary.
Yeah.
There
We
we
can
go.
set that up. Yeah.
So
love that.
When you guys see us again, we'll be in the sanctuary of Mia Motivation.
Yes.
Mia, one more time, tell them where they can find you so that they stay connected. And also, make sure you get the $300 nutritionist plan, because I feel like that is like the fuel. Because we were talking about that the other day. I was like, bro, I be eating.
We all,
Yeah.
it's like, because that's what we're like in a,
Oh, yeah.
we're in that, what's that called? A rat race. Like, we're just in the motions. We just eat wherever we can. Okay, drive through, whatever, grabs, and a lot of times we don't eat enough. And that's where we get, what's that word? Where we get, there's a word I'm going for, desperate. You get desperate because you're so hungry. You go hours and hours without eating. That you get so desperate. Somebody puts something. Yes, I'll eat that, because you're like, your body's like, give me something. Like I'm deficient. So it's really, really important to like fuel your body, because if you don't fuel your body, you're not fueling your brain.
Correct.
And it's affecting the way you think. It's affecting your decision making. So to me, that's scary. You definitely want to fuel your body. And I teach especially women too, like with their hormones, like how to handle their perimenopause and their hormones, because a lot of women blame their hormones on their decision making, their reactions. I'm like, well, honey, you need to take control of what you're eating to balance out your hormones. So they got to take accountability. I get the ladies in check. And I'm like, stop making excuses. Stop blaming your husband. Stop blaming so and so. Take responsibility for what you're putting in your mouth and watch your hormones get in alignment. So I'm big about that too. That's why I'm 44. I can relate to those women that are going through that, especially after having 2 kids. I went through postpartum big time, so I can relate. And alone. Yes. So I can relate to women who are depressed, especially after having babies. I mean, it has to do with your hormones. It's just hormones out of whack and your body trying to get back to normal, and it takes time.
Yeah.
So, we got to give ourselves time. We got to give ourselves grace.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. And all these pills and injections that, people are doing is stop. You're not teaching yourself anything. You're teaching yourself you're putting a Band-Aid on the problem. Fix the problem. Go to the root. Don't put the Band-Aid on it. All these weight loss, semi-glutide injections, no, and no. I'm going to tell you no. Stop doing it. It's just giving you the excuse to not going to the root to the issue. If you have an eating disorder, guess what? It stems probably from past trauma. Let's get that fixed. Let's get that healed. Let's get that taken care of, and then let's change the mindset. And then you're gonna be a fierce to be reckoned with when you do that, when you work on that.
Yeah.
So MiaMotivation.com. MiaMotivation.com. That's MIAMOTIVATION.com. And Instagram is at Mia Motivation. Facebook is Mia Motivation. So it's very consistent.
She everywhere. Mia
Yeah.
Motivation.
You'll see her all through Tampa.
Yes.
Say that.
If you see a black navigator with Mia Motivation, that's me. So I apologize if I cut you off or you think I'm a crazy driver. I got places to go. So don't judge me.
That's the pod, guys. Till next time.
Knucklehead Podcast.
Let's go.